Mr. Chair, just to rectify, the amounts are in terms of thousands, not in terms of millions. And it is, yes, it is an issue that we are still working with our suppliers, our developers, in order to address the issue. We hope that in the 2025 financial statement, this will not feature.
Indicated 275 million.
It is in terms of thousand. It's 275,000.
275,000,
not million.
Not million.
No. Going back.
Okay. 275,784. But the figure that is here, that's in million. But in the appendix, it's in thousand. Appendix N.
And this, if you look at the appendix, there's no way you can spend this much.
Appendix N is in page.
Expense on committees for the National Assembly, you cannot spend more than that to that too. Oh, sorry.
So what's supposed to be the correct figure?
Madam Chair.
National audit?
Yes. I think there are some omission in the zeros, but these are in millions, not in thousands. The way the spending was pulled, we added 3 zeros. This should have been in millions. The 3 zeros should have been there on top of the table, so that it will be. But these are not. These figures are not in thousands. This should be in millions.
Description, the budget, like furniture fittings, special services, maintenance. Normally, those approved budget is not even 1 million. I don't know how comes they can go all the way up.
Yes. So if you look at, for example, conferences, workshops, and seminars, we are just saying 9,000. So obviously this would be 9 million. You cannot have 9,000 spent on workshops, conferences, and seminars, for example. $9,000 only.
Under B is 07. And the miscellaneous office expenses under B is 07. There's no way you can spend 106 million. There's no way you can spend 106. There's no vote for miscellaneous that is to the tune of 100 million.
Under one ministry?
Defense.
No, I mean under one ministry.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Yes.
That's something else. The National Assembly, the committee expenses can also be 3,000. For committee expenses for the whole year. Yes, it can be more than that.
Mind you, this is not for the whole year.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, whether for the whole year.
What is it? Yes.
To augment. But 3,000 is far too low for committee expense.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at the National Assembly, they have different programs. And most of the programs also, you will see something like committee expenses. It depends on the programs. Yeah, but there are programs whose expenditure is more than 3 million. That's what I'm sure. More
Can
than
we
3
do
million, yeah.
proper, let's check it properly and don't base it on assumption,
Yes.
okay? So national audit and then NAO, you can please go over and review it, and then we try to establish the
Yes.
reality on the figure.
We will.
Huh?
We will.
Can we go to the next page, 92? And that's on payroll. No evidence of contribution by seconded employees. And the list of those affected are listed in the table, and under the audit recommended that the unpaid contribution of seconded employees is recovered and evidence provided to the audit team for verification, and management also responded.
Since most of the seconded officers do not have trails or record details to be pursued, it is difficult to get them to contribute. However, AGD will deduct the total amount the seconded officer should contribute during the secondment period at the time of claiming their retirement benefits.
Management, NAO,
The auditor's comment. The finding remains unresolved up to the time of finalizing the management letter.
Accountant General, did you do the deduction if their retirement are due?
We do the deductions when they are retiring. What is it is like in the file of that individual, you'll see the letter approval for secondment for that officer. Now, when you do the computation of the retirement benefit, you look at the length of service for that for that officer, and what he was supposed to contribute, and that is deducted from the gratuity of that individual.
So, and all those affected, their retirements are not yet due.
Say that again?
I mean, those affected, those listed, none of them has their retirement due?
They are yet to retire.
Okay.
For instance, Ansunjai.
No need to mention their names. I only want to confirm whether they are yet to retire. Huh?
Yeah, this
Sorry,
issue,
let him answer that. Yes, sorry, Honorable. They are yet to retire. And then that's the only way that you can recover.
That's the only way we can recover for now.
For now.
Yes.
Yes, Honorable Mbo.
yes, Chair. I think this issue has been coming in previous audits, but I don't think that's the only way they can do that. Because if you want to wait for one of them that I know, maybe before he retires in another 15, 20 years or so, and I don't think it's really ideal because of the value for money. Because the money that you deduct now will be invested into something, so you earn interest in it. So if you wait until he retires, really the interest that's have been earned on that deductions would be lost. So for me, most of these people, we know them. For example, if you look at the other one here at the National Human Rights Commission, I mean that's a simple matter. It's a matter of writing to them and asking them. The other one is from GRA, and the other one from the Ministry of Finance. So the other one from Ministry of Fisheries. So it should not be a difficult matter for them to correct instead of waiting. They cannot. So I think something needs to be done, and we need to close this issue because it has come previously, if I remember, 2019 or thereabout. So the same issue is coming. So we have to find a solution. So waiting until they retire, I don't think that's a solution.
Mr. Chair,
Accountant General.
um, I tend to agree with the honorable member that waiting until retirement is not the only option or the only way we can recover money. But I know they can be contacted for those that we can contact, that we know about. However, I want to say that we're holding brief for the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Permanent Secretary, Personnel Management Office, who is not here yet. He was just informed this morning when we didn't see him. So, but we're partners because now most of these HR issues are the responsibility of PMO. But this is what I can say.
Yes. Mr. Chair, in addition to what Madam Accountant General has said, it's like we are working on a system with PMO and Minister of Public Service, the HRMIS system, whereby we'll be able to, all these issues will be able to be flagged. For instance, here we have a sample, but the civil service is bigger than this. So now, currently we are on a manual system in terms of secondment and so forth. So it would be challenging to be able to monitor at the individual level. But we are working on this HRMIS system with the Minister of Public Service and PMO, and that would enable us to be monitoring this on real time, be it the secondment and be in the contribution.
The AG indicated that those they know can be contacted, but I want to believe all those in the list, you should have known them. Do you know all of them?
We know all of them on this list.
Yeah, those
on
in
this list.
That means you can contact all of them. So let's say that all of them should be contacted, that they need to pay this money, and the committee will give timeline. Honorable members? PMO?
The PS, yeah, the PMO should have been a better position.
It's not around.
Yeah, it's not around.
Yes, Clara?
Mr. Chair, I believe we should not only look at the people on this list, but we should look at a holistic solution to this. I know as part of the resolutions for the 2020 audit, you have required us to obtain the list from PMO and establish to what extent they've contributed, and this we have provided as part of the resolutions. So the idea was that, that whenever they come back for contract renewal or for renewal for extension for their the secondment to be extended, PMO should require that they provide evidence of having contributed before their letters are issued. I think that was one of the proposals that was given here, and I think that is what informed us providing that data for you as part of the resolution documentation. Thank you.
The holistic one is one thing, but this one that is also affected, we should also find mechanism on that as well. So we tend to take the suggestion pushed by the Accountant General that all of them can be contacted. So we try to contact all of them, give them timeline for them to pay, and timeline will be for the committee to decide.
Chair, also, can we just get clarity on this? When you are on the secondment, don't you receive something from where you work? For example, let's use the last person here on the list at the National Human Rights Commission. Don't you still pay them something? Yes, so, from the government.
We don't pay them.
It's zero.
We don't pay them anything. He is on secondment, Everything is
Everything's
taken
transferred to our side.
to National Human
Yeah.
Rights Commission for that person.
Okay. Now, at the level of the institution, not even at the level of the individual, at the level of the institution, I think the institution should be aware that they are supposed to pay to the government 25%. So in that instance, instead of going after the person, you go after the institution. Because the institutions need to be able to pay direct payroll deduction. Because this is a law. So instead of contacting FATO or MODO or whoever, the institution actually have to pay remit that amount to the government. I know it may be difficult to track because of they're all over the world. They may be very difficult to do so. But I think we need to start holding the institution responsible because they know that they're supposed to pay these things to these people. Because if you don't do the deduction, how are they going to pay? But we must find a way to do that.
As mentioned, the HRMIS will be very helpful on that.
Yeah, that will be able to track, because if you are not paying them anything, the only thing you could do is like track you get the names, but the actual payments would gonna come from the other side. So for me, I think as part of the agreement that the institution should pay, yeah.
Now, on action point, who should contact them, AG? Is it the PMO? You'll contact them. And on the timeline, okay, or you can contact them. Alaji, can you suggest the timeline that we can give to them for the payment?
No, there are two things here. There's a great possibility the institution have deducted them, but they have not remitted those amounts. It's very possible. So they have not deducted them.
Centralized.
The institution to know that they have this liability.
Yeah. So what we can do is maybe we get until the end of this month. They can write to all those institutions to ensure that all those that have not paid, because there's a great possibility it's more than these people. Because this is just a sample, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if it's a sample, which means there could be a bigger thing.
Yeah.
So maybe the PMO should provide all those people that are on secondment in the first place, and then I think it's the responsibility of PMO. Yeah, it's still PMO. I think PMO should be responsible. Yeah. They should. Yeah. Yeah. But you are holding brief. Just continue everything. Right? Yes. Yes. By PMO. Okay. Yes.
Can you use the mic?
I am proposing that for the course of action to be taken, yes, we're aware, we'll work with them. But given that this is an HR issue, maybe it would not be fair to take decision and in the instruction in the absence of the permanent secretary. So he's on his way.
No, but you see, the permanent secretary would not tell us what we're going to be doing. But we need to put a timeline. Yes.
This one is for the committee.
Yeah. So I think we can give them by end of March. That they
End
need
of
to organize all those on secondment by end of March, because this is not the first time it has appeared previously. Yeah, it's been appearing. So we get on to end of March, where they would provide with a list of all those on secondment and to confirm that the 25% payment is been done. Hey, don't hold brief.
Can we move to the
Hello, Chair.
Mr. Chair,
yes?
we have in our midst the staff and the DPS responsible for fiscal in our midst, Ministry of Finance. So I want to
Direct
maybe
budget.
ask that and ask that maybe we go back to Ministry of Finance issues.
The issues that we've
Skipped.
Honorable Chair, before you proceed, with your permission, please.
yes, audit.
I think one of the objects of allowing staff, employees of government to go on secondment is the contribution bit. And there's a clear provision for that in the general orders. If that provision is being flouted. I think the condition for secondment should be ended as soon as possible, because that's why we quoted this. So the issue was, and that's why they maintain your position, because of the contribution. If you are not contributing, then it means that you should not be, you should be recalled, or the contract should be terminated at once.
Mr. Chair, can I come in?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I beg to differ on that submission. Why? Because the general orders have provided for this bit of secondment, and it's not anchored on the premise that it's because of the secondment contribution. What you bring back to government is why we're leaving you to go. The GO has clearly indicated situations where the individual has not contributed, because this secondment is basically to be taken to be an uninterrupted service as far as the computation of your retirement benefit is concerned. So if the individual has been consistently during the course of his secondment period contributing towards contributing this 25%, which is meant for to serve as part of his retirement benefit, he would be deemed as not he would be deemed as having not having continuous service with government. But whereas, and the law has also indicated that the individual has not contributed, then that period that he has not contributed can be removed from his service with government, and then he will not be entitled to that portion, you know. So I just wanted to make that clarification.
Okay. When we prepare the report, we'll do the necessary consultation regarding that. Can we go back to the issues we've skipped for the Ministry of Finance? The other first one is no repayment of state lending by state-owned enterprises. And we've indicated that page 83, the underlisted SOEs are defaulted. The amount involved 266,208,476.71, and under that, the audit recommend that the Minister of Finance to ensure that there are adequate policies and procedures regarding repayment of loans on land to state-owned enterprises, and the management responded to that.
Good morning. Apologies, we came late. We have some issues to deal with in the office. The management responses. Currently, Mafia has developed an on-lending framework and guaranteed framework as guiding instruments. In addition, individual financing agreements are normally prepared using these frameworks. These frameworks contains the procedures for non-lending and issuing of guarantees. We understand that both GCAA and NAWEC are facing serious financial difficulties, which is affecting service delivery, especially NAWEC. We intend to convert GCAA debt to equity and also cancel NAWEC debt. These considerations are being reviewed and action will be in action in the near future.
Audit?
Auditor's comment. This implies that there was no proper financial and technical analysis by the Minister of Finance to ensure that NAWEC will be able to pay back these loans to the government. The finding still remains unresolved.
To at least elaborate on the status as of now.
Okay, good morning. With respect to the on landings, I think efforts were made in the past to engage them, particularly now to, service their debt. But that was prior to the development and the coming into force the on lending and guarantee framework. But even with that, I think they made maybe a couple of payments, maybe one or two, and thereafter they stopped. I think the challenge we are having is when they were auditing us. At the time we have some displacement, there was some ongoing renovation in the office. So we couldn't trace the trace documentation to be able to provide evidence with respect to this issue. But basically, that is it. That's what we were doing. We were having some implementation issue to provide us evidence in the past to ensure that but even with that one, definitely they were not making effort to pay. I think they just made one or two payments and thereafter they stopped. Yeah.
Your response indicated action will be taken in the near future. Since after the audit exercise, what action have you taken?
Well, the actions are in twofold. One, it will require us to bill them, to put up a request notice demanding NAWEC or some of these entities to pay. The other action that was taken was to put up an lending framework and guarantee to ensure that before government issue on lending or guarantee, proper assessment is being made to ensure that they are eligible or they are viable to be able to pay the debt when as and when it falls due. Yeah.
Are you insinuating that these actions came after the audit exercise?
No. The actions were there before the audit exercise. The issue is, I think, the timing, because the on lending and the guarantee framework came into being after 2021-22 thereafter. So that was why, I mean, those previous years, the framework actually taught the previous years.
What is the difference? We expect that you're supposed to take action according to your response after the exercise. So currently, what is the status?
The status, as I said, the status would have been to correct the current situation, is to write and demand the affected, the debtors to pay. But they cannot just pay. They are not paying. Okay. That's what I was saying. They are not just paying.
Okay. Honorable members, the status remain the same.
Yes.
They are not paid.
Yes, Chair. Yes. This I think the Minister of Finance should do more on this area, because I know you also own NAWEC.
We own NAWEC.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do the net of it,
of course.
If you do the net of it,
you owe them the only. What do you do?
Yes.
I mean, in fact, when you look at the SOE cross areas that was done by the Minister of Finance,
yes,
where all the SOEs, one or the other, whatever it is, I think this should be come into play as well. So we cannot just let it go like that. Or you owe now it's not going to position, they cannot pay. When in fact you owe them but you are paying them.
But if you compare the two debt, honorable, you cannot just
half enough is better than nothing. I'm not saying you
NAWEC owes billions.
I know that. But so, again, where they can put in 50, 60 million per quarter or per year, that could make a difference. At least it's showing that you are paying something.
Anyway,
but they owe you owe them, but you are paying your part, and they're not paying, and then you just want to continue like that. That cannot be.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, right.
So, Honorable, sorry. you are right. They owe us, we owe them. But under normal circumstances, yes, we should go after them. But looking at, especially in the past few years, what they have gone through, because before you even ask for somebody to pay you, you are still going out almost every other time to bail them out. Like last year, we bailed them nearly. So that's the reality. It's not sustainable. That's why there are efforts ongoing to try to reform the institutions. And as the peers rightly stated, that the coming of the commission also is trying to put a lot of pressure on them so that they can be able to be efficient. Before that, if they are not efficient, it's going to be business as usual. So the only thing is the reforms that we are working on to try to see how to bundle them both vertically and horizontally, until they get to a certain level. Because we cannot afford to do otherwise, or else we'll have no light here, we cannot function, and that's a higher risk than currently what obtains. So with time, I think we'll be able to sort it out. With time, with the support of the assembly also.
We have been supported.
The reform process, because that's where the issue is.
I know. So, Chair, I think, for me, I think the ministry must come with a comprehensive plan in the way they're dealing with the SOEs, particularly in this particular area. It's not only NAWEC, but if you look at also the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, it's the same situation. If you say you're going to take it as an equity, when you actually own them 100%, so I don't know, what equity are you taking when you are the owner?
So those things, I'm not an accountant.
Yes.
Probably it's just trying to clean up the books so that they can look good.
But
no, we are in this cycle. So I don't know when we're going to break it, but unless we break that, and the only way to break that is to be serious with the reform, and look at them and tell them, look, this is possible, this is not possible.
Yes, that's fine. We'll proceed.
Yes.
Issuance of cash allocation beyond the buffer limit and the.
Before we proceed, maybe
Pardon?
Some of my staff are just coming in today, so they may require.
Yeah, we will do that when. Yeah, let me just. The affected months are indicated in the table, and the difference is 198,698,885. On that, the audit recommended that management will ensure adherence to the approved monthly cash plans and buffer expenditure limit to ensure efficient budget execution. Ministry of Finance, management response.
I think the management response in the current situation that exists. The current situation that exists is not the ideal situation. The resource allocations are based on mobilization of domestic resources to GRA and our development partners. Once these resources are received, that is the time we know how much to allocate to each sector. Although there are instances where the MDAs request for additional funds as a result of exigencies. Yes.
Yes. Auditor's comment. While the management response acknowledged the current situation and the efforts made to limit excess allocation, the finding remains unresolved up to the time of finalizing this management letter.
Technicians to come in. I would like the technicians to come in to assist.
dégguma la wax volume bi muy overload si yow ah hold on déglu hold on rek dinaa ko yokka waaye just hold on rek ma ne dinaa ko yokka waaye hold on rek
So, Chair, slide.
So,
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
can you introduce yourself?
My name is Mustafa Samate, the Director of Budget at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs.
You may proceed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just to
waaw tegal ma dem yokko
to the comments submitted by DPS and Sumana, DPS Sane, the issue of excessive cash allocation beyond approved monthly cash plan. I think it just points to the issue of the planning challenges we have when it comes to cash planning as a government. But we're working on this. Currently, we have a team from IMF that's also helping us to do this. So is the mic working? Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now?
hello
Okay, so what I was saying is that, Mr. Chair and the colleagues, it's not like we are issuing cash allocations that are not approved. Everything is approved. The issue here the auditors are highlighting is planning efficiency, cash planning efficiency, which is a valid point, and we're working with our partners. At the moment, we have some partners from IMF that are also helping us to do more work. But planning is a big issue across government, and this is the challenge. We do our cash plans. We normally, on a monthly basis, the cash management committee will meet. After that, we discuss with peers, discuss with minister. But after all those processes and approvals, government demands and unplanned sometimes turns up. For example, the president has to travel and stuff like that. So, but notwithstanding, we take note, and as stated, we're doing the best we can to improve on our planning or allocation efficiency. Thank you.
Excise. Have you been working on to ensure that this situation is improved or regularized?
Yes, that's what I said, Mr. Chair.
After the audit exercise?
Sorry?
After the audit exercise?
In fact, as we speak today, our technical assistants, advisors are with the accountant general working with us, them, the cash management unit, and budget on these issues. As we speak. Thank you.
It really boils down to the issue of planning. You know, sometimes you plan, but during the course of implementation, something can change. But when it's excessive, then questions begin to come out whether you actually had done a proper planning. So I think that's what my understanding is based what the auditors actually are saying. Because if it is excessive, you know, if it is like beyond 5%, 10%, somebody can understand. But if you plan to do 100, then you end up doing 300 or 400, that is excessive. So what that means is the planning, there was an issue with the planning. There was no proper planning, you know. So I don't know, but maybe they need to work on that just to ensure that, you know, and I think it also helps the directorate itself. Because if the plan, if you're very close to the plan, actually you can go and sleep. But all the time things are coming left, right, and center beyond what was planned, it disrupts everything, not only, the director itself, but even, going beyond that. So I think, I know it's difficult, the way we operate as a government, but I think we need to start pushing back to ensure that non-essentials actually are put away until, a proper plan. It's going to be very difficult, but sometimes you have to be fighting fast. So let's try to plan better.
So thank you, Honorable. We hear your advice, but I must say this is extremely challenging, and even our minister would tell you he doesn't like it. We do the best we can to rationalize capital. Typically, the truth is that, on average, for example, what we collect, we pay debt service, almost $1 billion, you pay salaries, how much are you left with? So you rationalize as much as you can before the approval. That means you drop items, right? And then after approval, the politicians will tell you this item has to proceed, right? So what do you do? What do you do? These are the challenges we face, right? So we do the best we can to rationalize based on the available costs, but the reality is what we have. So but notwithstanding, we're doing the best we can to improve on allocation efficiency, like I said.
No, we'll help you. We'll stop the environment. We'll help you.
Can we proceed to the next issue? Page 89. Failure to prepare program-based budget statement by MDAs. On that, the audit recommended that Ministry of Finance should ensure that MDAs adhere to the reform agenda in the implementation of the program-based budget. Management.
Currently, 4 ministries are piloted to improve on their PBB statements.
Auditor's comment. Management response is noted, and this will be confirmed in our subsequent audit.
Subsequent audit precisely 2025?
Yes, because this has been a recurring issue, 2021 to 2024.
Okay. Honorable members, to be confirmed in subsequent audit, precisely 25. Can we move on? Failure to provide minutes of meeting of cash management committees. This was also flagged by the audit, and they recommended that ministries to provide minutes of cash management to management committee, and management responded.
Reviewed at Mafia Budget Directorate.
Auditor's comment. Meeting minutes of cash management committee remains unpresented up to the time of finalizing this management letter.
Finance.
Mr. Chairman, it's important to also note that this is 2021, and a lot of these files would have been in the archives by now, somewhere very deep down, and no one really, with the archiving conditions of government.
That is, we're not getting you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that 2021 is almost 4 or 5 years ago, and without doubt, those files will be in the archives of the Ministry of Finance. The question is, how do we dig in those deep archives to retrieve them? That's one. Now, two, a lot of the staff that were at the time, budget officers, I would say that maybe 90% or 95% of the staff that were there in 2021 are no longer there right now. So it's a challenge, we recognize it, but moving forward, we are also trying to see for our cash management minutes how we store them digitally going forward, right? But this is the reality on ground. Thank you.
Now, I think if you go by your response, it clearly indicated the minutes of the meeting of the cash management committee is available for review at the ministry. So if it is available and after the audit exercise, can we provide it to them to confirm?
Okay, we will endeavor to try to retrieve the files from the archives, right? But it's a challenge, and we just want to note that challenge. Thank you.
Well, the response indicated is readily available. And on that, we expect it to be provided. We'll give a timeline for that to be provided for audit to confirm as we start. Yesterday, I think, Honorable, we are given fortnight for such confirmation. Okay. Honorable.
No, it's okay. That's what I wanted to talk about. That we give time frame for submission.
The next one, spending from unbudgeted, but that was taken care. So we can now continue from where we stopped. And let's go back to page 94. No monitoring mechanism for deduction of seconded officers. We did that one as well. Okay, go to 95.
Double Chair. So I think we dealt with the first item. That was no evidence of contribution by seconded of employees.
Not this one.
Yeah, the other one.
They are
although
similar but different.
Partially, yeah, they are related. Yeah. They are, yeah.
So the same action (95) on imputed date of birth for employees in the national, and on that the audit recommended that management should ensure the date of birth of the employees are captured in the national system to be able to track the retirement age of employees and the detailed furnished to the audit team for review. Management responded.
The Personnel Management Office will be engaged to update staff profile by inputting the correct employee date of birth. AGD is in conjunction with PMO will conduct a general payroll cleanup exercise to update the payroll system accordingly.
Auditor's comment. The finding remain unresolved up to the time of finalizing this management letter.
Yes, the exercise is ongoing, and currently AGD, PMO, Ministry of Public Service are embarking on a staff audit, whereby all those biodata would be captured and then uploaded in the payroll.
Yes, I think this is one of the issues of some of these MIS systems that they need to correct, because there are certain information, it must be a requirement that they are input to finish. We cannot go beyond or save anything when you don't put date of birth or a name or last name. So this needs to be must field data, mandatory. Yeah. So if the system doesn't have that, perhaps you need to update that to make it mandatory, because you cannot input somebody's details without a date of birth and then the system allows you to go. That is basic security requirements that it must they must make it mandatory. So maybe as part of their cleanup also, they need to also check with the system admin to ensure, because most of the time they will have it. So you just need to activate it or you disable it, but it needs to be activated to ensure that those basic data is actually input. Otherwise, it may be difficult to have a report of those that will be retiring in a 1 year time, or 2 years time, or 3 years time, because the data is not there. It's very difficult to do. So they must make it mandatory in the system.
That is a valid point that we take note of, and then rest assured that as soon as we get back to the office, we will work with our system developer in order to make this. But we will crave your indulgence to wait until the exercise is completed and all the biodata updated, then we implement. So it would be in the 2020, not 6 financial statements.
2026.
Because of we are in 2026. The exercise is starting tomorrow. The general staff audit. By the time we finish it here against June, that's when we'll be able to upload the biodata and all those. That's once the biodata is uploaded, everything is at par. Then you can do it mandatory.
Tomorrow is what date? Yes. 5th.
Honorable Chair, I think.
Yes.
Honorable Chair, I think this one is way back 2021, and we just wanted to know whether this has not appeared in a subsequent query audit, and how far have you gone? Just to confirm, how have you gone with the update since 2021 to date?
We just want to highlight that 2021 to 2024 was done in a compacted way. So basically, then that is why we are giving this response, and we are working towards it right now as it is, and so forth. Thank you.
So audit, the exercise is going on, and with that means the outcome of the exercise, the audit exercise that is going on, can only be confirmed in the 2026 report.
Maybe they need to give date as to when that exercise will be completed.
The exercise is starting tomorrow.
The exercise is starting tomorrow and is ongoing until June. It's the entire civil service, National Audit included, National Assembly included.
Yes.
Hmm?
Honorable Chair, I just want to confirm, or just to mention that the audit of 2025 will commence very soon.